Tristan was just starting to make a name for himself. We were putting together what would have been his first big gallery show. He should have been elated. We could all see something was wrong. Most people blamed it on the drugs, but I knew there was more to it. He just wasn't himself. He seemed distant, afraid.
Of what?
I tried to get him to open up, but he got sick of me poking around. Said he needed his space. Then he just disappeared. None of his friends knew where he was. There was no family to contact.
So you filed a missing persons report?
And then a few nights later, he left a voice message.
You need to understand. I wanted to destroy it. Just pretend it didn't exist. I don't know what I was thinking. You can't see something like that and not have it change you. I didn't do it. You have to know that. But it still feels like I've got blood on my hands. That's why it's still here. That's why I have to confess. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you're gonna find out about me when I do. But none of that matters. All that matters is finding him. Because he has to pay for what he's done. And so do I.
A neighbor found him the next day. Saw his body through the window. It was the first I'd heard about this cabin he'd holed up in.
What did he mean, confess?
All I know is that he never had a chance to do it. There's something else. This was on his easel when I got to the cabin. The last thing he painted. Before he died, I was fighting to get anyone to pay attention to this show. But after, suddenly everyone was very interested. Flyers all over the city, and the press calling me for a change. And the show was a huge success. Everything sold. Well, except for this. A few days after the show, someone called my office trying to find out where Tristan had been staying, some long-lost friend who wanted to pay his respects. I got defensive, he got irate and hung up on me. That same night, I was woken up by noises inside the house. Nothing seemed out of place, and just as I was about to blame it on too much wine and an overactive imagination, I saw it. A light I was certain I had shut off. I double-checked the locks on all the doors and windows, and when I got to the back, this is gonna sound crazy.
Try me.
I saw him. I called the police, of course, but with nothing stolen, they blamed it on too much wine and the stress of Tristan's death. They recommended a good therapist. It didn't even occur to me until the next time I sat down at that counter, the pile of paperwork that I had on there. This was on top. An invoice from the cleaning crew that went into the cabin. One of many rather morbid responsibilities I've recently inherited.
The address.
It was too much of a coincidence. I knew what I'd seen. So I needed to know who this man in the painting was, how Tristan was involved with him, and why he was so desperate to get that address.
He saw the painting here. He needed to track it down.
It was on the counter right next to the invoice. If that's what he'd been after, there's no way he could have missed it. Now he was looking for something else. Something he seems pretty convinced Tristan had.
This is why you hired my dad. What does this mean?
The spare key to the cabin. There's a hidden compartment and the thermometer on the front porch. Sam wanted to take a look around. I told him that's how he could get in. It was the last time I ever saw him.
But he didn't need a key, did he? Because he wasn't the only one there looking for something. Oh, Jesus, the case files.
What case files?
If he figured out my dad was a PI, he'd want to know what he was doing there, how much he knew.
I told him to keep as much of this off the books as possible.
The killer didn't know that. And he didn't know where to start, so he just took all of them. Fuck! Why did you keep this to yourself?
I had a story no one other than your father believed. And after what happened to him, I couldn't risk somebody else getting hurt because of me. And quite frankly, I think the only reason that I'm still alive is because I don't know what he's looking for.
All right, let's see. Clozapine, Mectol, Amoxapine, all up to date. And there's one other that I want you to try. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Then again, maybe I will. The dosage is very extreme. You may have to take them all in one sitting. You're not going to laugh at my jokes. I know someone who will. What? Hey! No! Stop it! Stop it! We gotta face facts, kiddo. I'm not always going to be here. Then what?